This is a rat swarm, dear viewer, a wave of aggressive, carnivorous, overly territorial rodents that will strip your flesh from your bones in minutes. And these are just the tiniest of creatures Stalker 2 has to offer. Now, while even the smallest of creatures in this game still represents such a significant threat, grenades and bullets can be quite persuasive in navigating the perils of the zone. So given this revelation, we must ask ourselves, are the Stalker 2 mutants really that bad? Allow me to introduce Mike. As you will soon see, he will prove instrumental in helping us to answer this question. And let's just say, after the events of the last time he ventured into the zone, getting ripped apart by dogs, sucked dry by bloodsuckers, and pummeled by pseudo giants, it took quite a bit of torture. Sorry, I meant gentle persuasion to get him to go back in. But while Mike deep throats some spicy meat and chugs down a can of the finest condensed milk coupons can buy, let's provide a quick bit of context for those unfamiliar with the background lore of Stalker. But before that, a shout out to MSI who slid into the DMs and very generously gave me a key to play the game. They have a range of Stalker themed hardware for you, such as a themed RTX 4070 Ti Super, a keyboard, a mouse and a controller. I will leave a link below for you to go and explore. Anyway, back to the lore. On the 26th of April 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded, spreading its radioactive load all across Europe. 3 years later, scientists moved into the exclusion zone, forming a secretive faction known as the Group. Their mission? To study the noosphere, an informational field influencing all life on Earth, aiming to purge humanity of anger, greed, and aggression. The abandoned zone became home to a number of clandestine X-labs, where experiments on anomalous objects, people, and animals took place. By the early 2000s, members of the group merged minds to form the Common Consciousness, attempting to alter the noosphere. Their meddling caused a second catastrophe at Chernobyl, enlarging the exclusion zone, altering the topography, and littering the local landscape with dangerous anomalies. The Common Consciousness, C consciousness if you like, couldn't fully control the noosphere's energy, which resulted in the release of deadly emissions periodically from the power plant. Some scientists splintered off, while others tried to mitigate the chaos. They erected the brain scorcher antennas to conceal their activities, using a psi field to manipulate the minds of those who ventured too close. Expeditions later uncovered mutants and anomalies, prompting investigations into the second Chernobyl disaster. By the 2010s, the recovery of anomalous objects with various second-hand properties became a very lucrative, if dangerous, occupation. And before long, treasure hunters known as Stalkers began venturing into the zone in search of these artifacts to sell to the wealthy. It was also at this time that rumors of a grand anomalous object at the heart of the zone known as the Wish Granter began filtering out into the zone. Understandably, everyone wanted in on it, and greed can lead to dark places, dear viewer. I should know, I nearly did a Raid Shadow Legends ad on this video. Now that is where I'm going to draw a line under the lore, but there is a hell of a lot more to it. There are several in-depth overarching plot lines that spread across numerous factions, but this video is about the mutants. So if you would like more information on the lore, there are lots of superb lore videos on YouTube for you to digest at your pleasure. Not now. After you've watched this one, please, it will cripple the watch time and YouTube will tank the video. This is where I'm going to call time on the lore so I can move on to the mutants, but there is so much more lore out there for you to sink your teeth into. Lore aside, let's move on. Now, death as a companion is as ever-present as your shadow upon the ground in the Stalker franchise, but in Stalker 2, oh my god, it is not just a companion, it is a hex, a curse, a migraine that never subsides. Every living creature and anomaly in Stalker 2 seeks to punish you for merely loading the fucking shaders. Before getting into the mutants, just a quick digression to have a look at some of the anomalies. There is no such thing as a nice walk in the country here. Every step could see you walk into a gravitational bubble that'll send you flying. Or maybe you'll melt your legs in an acid puddle. Or maybe you'll 1, 2, 3 clear yourself as you wander into an electrical hazard. Or maybe you'll be cooked medium rare as a lava fountain spews molten rock over you. Or maybe you'll be ripped to ribbons after running through some floating shards of glass while you're trying to run away from a mutant. Hell, there's a poppy field that will kill you if you step into it. To say nothing of the bandits that will shoot on sight, to the explosive traps, or the pockets of radiation everywhere, the zone is no picnic. So now that we have established that you will not survive anyway, let's have a look at some of the mutants and explore if they really are that bad. First up are the flesh. These used to be domesticated pigs, but now they look like fat insects moving in packs of around 5 or so. Layers of muscle and skin coupled with strong sharpened hooves have made these animals a fairly formidable opponent. Once upon a time, they were little more than the cattle of the zone, but in the newest Stalker installment, they have had an upgrade. Not only can they take a lot more hits now, they are a lot more aggressive, and they will leap at you when they get close enough. If Mike wants to survive against the flesh, he's going to need to be nimble on his feet and either mag dump them in the face or just run away. Next up, let's talk about the blind dogs, another pack hunter, and this time around they are a lot faster and more coordinated. They will also run into cover and hide if you try to take advantage by taking the high ground. Fortunately, you'll hear their barking before you see them. If you hear barking, stop, turn around, and walk away. If you're dumb enough to get too close and they attack, you need to try and shoot them all before they get too close. Fail to do so, and they will quickly begin running in circles around you, taking opportunistic bites out of you while you're trying to shoot them all. If Mike wants to survive this one, it comes down to fight or flight. He can either spend the ammo to try and kill them all one by one, or just run away. Let's go back to the mutants I introduced this video with, the rodents. Now while they are pretty weak in the HP department, a single shot from most weapons will kill them, their strength comes in their size and numbers. They are small and will use debris for cover. They can also traverse debris and environmental features, so you can forget about a pile of rubble being your safe haven. And while they only deal small amounts of damage, they come at you in groups of 10 sometimes, and their damage quickly adds up. And like the blind dogs, if you try to take the high ground, they will hide and wait for you to expose yourself. If Mike wants to survive, he's just going to have to spam bullets and bandages until they're all dead, or just run away. Back to the pigs, and let's talk about boars. Very aggressive creatures covered in thick brown fur. First time I encountered these was the moment I found out Stalker 2 had an animation for you getting knocked on your ass. A very humbling experience. They come at you in groups of around 4 or 5, and they'll attempt to charge you and knock you over, leaving you vulnerable to follow-up attacks. Again, don't get clever and try to get out of their reach, they will just hide and wait for you. To survive the boars, Mike's going to need to spend a lot of bullets and a lot of shells trying to penetrate that thick hide and keep an eye on where the boars are, or just run away. Have you noticed a pattern starting to occur here? Cats. Fun fact, I'm allergic to them. I stopped breathing. First time I bumped into these was trying to recover a stash when 3 of the little shits jumped me. These things are not to be underestimated. They will mimic the sounds of other stalkers or people to draw you into an enclosed environment before ambushing you. So if you hear cries for help, take it with a pinch of salt and be on your guard. And their claws will shred through your armor, so you can expect to make a hasty visit to the nearest technician to spend an obscene number of coupons to repair your gear after encountering them. If Mike does get ambushed, he needs to retreat to an open space to try and dodge their attacks, or, and probably the best option, just run away. Alright, let's go back to some dogs, this time the Sidey Dogs. The first time I bumped into this spawn of Satan was when I was arse deep in swamp water. These things are a bloody menace. It is a mutated wolf that can spawn illusory clones. Did I say that right? Illusory? Illusory. Clones of itself to attack you. So you've got no idea which one is the real one, but of course they can all deal damage and a lot of it. They will swarm you, they will circle you, and the alpha dog will just spawn more and more clones as you kill them off. This is a mutant encounter where it is very easy to spend a lot of ammo. If Mike wants to survive this one, he needs to find the alpha dog. Once he finds it, he needs to put it down fast, because once he does land a shot on it, it will panic and spawn another load of clones, or just run away. Unless like me you're up to your tits in swamp water, in which case death. How about some zombies now? No word of a lie, right? These mutants were the fastest I died to all of the mutants in the game. I was just strolling along, not a care in the world, when suddenly there was gunfire coming from everywhere and my health was just going, gone. I didn't even have time to put on a bandage. These are stalkers that have fallen to the effects of psi radiation, rendering them little more than savage shells of what they once were. Amazingly though, they retain the intelligence to load and fire weapons. They shamble around in groups near sources of psi radiation, and the only way to kill them is with headshots. Anything else and they might go down, but they will get back up. If Mike wants to survive this one, he's going to have to get his eye in and start cracking skulls and not get caught out in the open like I did. Or save his ammo and just run away. Snorks now. First time I encountered a group of these, I spent most of the encounter exclaiming words to the effect of, "Hey, wait, stay still!" Snorks are quadrupedal human mutants, the remains of soldiers that came to the zone many years ago. The zone has worked its magic to reduce them to savage creatures that will attack you on sight. They can be found on their own, but more often roam in packs. If you show up on their radar, they will leap and jump and bounce all over the fucking place, making it very difficult to hit them. Once they get close enough, they will lunge at you and deliver a hard kick or a slash. But while they are hard to hit, and their kicks and slashes do a lot of damage, they're quite weak. So if Mike can manage to land a shot on them, it won't take many to put them down, or just run away. Right then, let's get spooky and check out the Poltergeist. This invisible arsehole appears as a ball of electricity and likes to throw things at you. And can I just ask, can someone please explain to me how an empty can of beans can take off half my health? I don't care how fast that thing is coming at me, how does that happen? And it can throw up a wall of rocks to protect itself from gunfire while it hurls shit at you. If Mike wants to survive this one, just run away, don't even bother. It's not worth the health or the ammo, just nope the hell out of there. But if he is a glutton for punishment, get close and hit the ball of electricity with shotgun shells until that legless fuckdoodle drops. Oh, there's also a fire version that hits you with fire anomalies, but they have a lot less health, so they're a bit easier to deal with. Find cover, get close, shotgun, job done. Continuing on this train of frustration, controllers next. If you see a bald, jean-wearing thing covered in bandages coming out at you, no, it's not some new fashion trend on TikTok. You've just encountered the controller, and you can now cross that mutant off your bingo card and then give yourself a paper cut, because get ready for the pain. This thing's party trick is to use Psywaves to pull your mind out of your head. The attack doesn't actually deal damage, but you'll effectively drift off into La La Land. You'll begin to hallucinate mutants attacking you and other stalkers shooting you. Now, while these apparitions aren't real, the damage they deal is very real. If Mike wants to survive this one, range is not his friend, or being in the open. He needs to deal with the apparitions before they deal with him, and then get close and get into cover. Then follow the wise advice of Thanos and go for the head. Also, it's quite slow, so grenades are also an option. Or break the line of sight and, you guessed it, just run away. Next up are the Buers, and of all the mutants in the zone, I hate these things the most. Presenting as this stocky dwarf in leather gear, you'll hear this thing's size 12s before you see it. If you try to shoot it, it will throw up an energy field making it invulnerable. Not only that, it can yank the gun you are holding out of your hands, and then the icing on the cake is that it can then use telekinesis to pick up your gun and any other guns lying around and make them all shoot at you. Oh, and it can also drain all of your stamina, and heaven forbid you throw a grenade at it, the cheeky fucker just throws it right back. If Mike wants to survive this one, he's just gonna have to get into cover, peek out, and take opportunistic headshots when he can. Also, he might want to pick up all the guns lying around so they can't be used to shoot at him with. Or, and what I would personally recommend, just run away. Bloodsuckers now, yay! Once a rarity, now as common as a YouTuber promoting a crypto scam. You'll bump into one of these things in the intro, in an acid pit, while you're caught with your pants down looking for an artifact. Welcome to Stalker 2, everyone. These invisible humanoids are the bane of a stalker's life in the zone. First, you'll hear this ungodly roar, then panting, and then you'll just suddenly begin bleeding. Quite quickly as well. The bloodsuckers are invisible, aggressive humanoid predators. They will close the distance very quickly and then hack and slash you to death. And annoyingly, their attacks can reset before you've had time to apply bandages and a medkit, so you can die pretty quickly to them. If Mike wants to survive, running away is not an option this time, because their scream will stop and disorientate him, leaving him vulnerable to attack. He needs to look for the shimmering outline of their movements and then shoot them with a shotgun when they get close. It'll usually take around 5 to 6 shells to put them down though, so he's going to have to juggle shooting and medkits if he hopes to survive. Coming in at third, the Mutated Deer. A newcomer to the Stalker franchise, Bambi obviously wanted revenge after the death of his mother. This thing is extremely rare and very hard to kill. This thing will actively hunt you down if it sees you. This thing is a tank of a creature. It will charge you and hit you with its antlers, knocking you for 6 straight on your back, and it can take so much damage. Not only that, it can rear up and scream for backup. Several other mutants will spawn in behind you when it does so. They can be rats, dogs, pigs, or flesh, and they'll all attack you at once. If Mike wants to survive this one, fat chance. But for the best chances, bring a lot of ammo and a lot of medkits and just shoot everything that moves. Oh, and probably the wisest decision, just run away. Stomping on up to claim silver, the Pseudo Giant, a colossal behemoth of a mutant. You are so screwed if you encounter this thing. It has the highest health and armor of any mutant in the zone. It has so much health, it is so strong, and it can take so much damage that it is not worth the hassle or the bullets or the medkits. It will charge you and knock you over and then stomp on you. It is almost guaranteed instant death. If you do manage to dodge that, it can leap and perform a power stomp that will send out a shockwave to knock you over too. And finally, when it roars, it can hurl shit at you like the Poltergeist, except you get no warning or a chance to find cover. It just happens. Just run away, it's not worth it, just pack up and go. You probably don't have enough ammo for this encounter. If Mike did want to fight and survive it though, he's going to have to cheese it. He's going to have to try and get it to run in circles around something so it can't charge and just keep hitting it. It doesn't try to avoid attacks because it can just tank them, so if he can, an RPG hit while it's charging would be good too, but honestly, the Pseudo Giant wasn't made to be beaten. Just run away. And finally, the apex of apex predators, the worst mutant of them all and guaranteed to ruin your day, the Chimera. If you encounter this thing, F8, reload last save. You won't beat it and you can't run away. Take the L, learn where not to go and reload. It is a two-headed human-lion combo that combines the strength of a Pseudo Giant with the abilities of a Snork. Here's the kicker, it can predict and jump to where you are going to run to. So even if you try to run away, you have to run without going in any particular direction. So unless you zigzag and have an almost empty inventory so you aren't too heavy, you aren't getting away. Mike's only hope is to exploit the game and try and get it stuck in a space it cannot get through and just, I don't know, unload every bullet he has into its face. Other than that, this is a losing fight. The Chimera was put into this game to remind you, you are not God here. You cannot just assume you will win every fight. And that, I think, very nicely answers our original question. Are the mutants in Stalker 2 really that bad? Yes. Yes, they are. And how do you deal with the mutants? Just run away. You can thank Mike for his sacrifice by sending him a coffee on Ko-Fi, and be sure to check out this video for another great story. Leave a like and subscribe if you made it this far, big up the patrons, and special thanks to Zehex, Viger, and Andre Bachert.